Hello and welcome back. So today's video is going to be an ultimate drugstore favorites video. These are drugstore products from every makeup category that are definitely my ultimate favorites. Some of these I've been using for years. A few are more new to my collection. I did recently do a full face of my most expensive products and I gave reviews on those. I was going to do a similar video for this, but I have too many. I can't put them all on my face at once. So I thought I would just give you reviews. But if you're interested in the luxury products, which I have much less of, check that video out. And alrighty, let's get into it. First up, I'll talk about base and primer type products. The Milani eyeshadow primer, I absolutely love this. I have extremely oily eyelids and this works for me. The only eyeshadow primers high-end or drugstore that have ever worked for me are this one and the Wetnwild. This is $6 or $7. This has lasted me since February, everyday use. So yeah, this is amazing, especially if you have oily eyelids. Next up, I want to talk about face primer. And if you've been watching my channel the last few months, you saw me talk about the e.l.f. Hydrating Face Primer. And I like that one, okay, but I discovered way better drugstore face primers. I can't believe how good these are. Oh my gosh. The Covergirl Illuminating Primer and the Pore Filling Primer. Now, these both have silicone in them, which is what I like. I like a very silicone-y smoothing primer. I have combo skin, but I can use this illuminating one. It's actually not too dewy. A lot of illuminating primers will make me look sweaty, but this does not. And this is an amazing smoothing primer. So yeah, even though I'm combo, I can put this all over my face, or I will put this on part of my face and then put this on my nose. I'm wearing this one today all over my face. By the way, I forgot to mention that on Instagram, I have a tutorial up for my face makeup and for my eyeshadow makeup. So check out my Instagram. I'm doing lots of tutorials there now. As far as setting spray, you have heard me talk about this. This is my tried and true e.l.f. Makeup Mist and Set. I have been using this for years. I've probably finished like 10 bottles of it. I'm happy they sell a larger 4-ounce size now. But yeah, this is fantastic. It is free of denatured alcohol, which I like. And yeah, I use it to wet my eyeshadows, prep my face, and set my makeup. It's amazing. As far as foundation, there's actually quite a few drugstore foundations that I like. The two I currently own are definite ultimate favorites that I've repurchased both of these. The Catrice HD Liquid Coverage, which is what I'm wearing today. What is my shade? I'm in light beige, and this matches me perfectly with yellow undertones. I had a bottle of this before when they only had like 4 shades, and the color I had was too dark, but now they are expanding their shade range. Good for them. And this is so long lasting. This is the most similar thing I've ever found to Estee Lauder Double Wear, which is my ultimate favorite. This does not break down. I can wear it all day. Full coverage. Love it. The other one I have is the e.l.f. one. This is the Flawless Finish Foundation. My color is light ivory. And this is not as full coverage and is not as long lasting, but it is a really nice satin finish. This one, I think, combo and oily skin would really need a mattifying primer and a mattifying powder. As combo skin, I can get away with it, but it can break down more easily and it's not as full coverage as the Catrice, but I still think it is really, really good. Concealer. Okay, so for years and years, I was a slave to Tarte Shape Tape. And since trying these concealers, that is no longer the case. Now, the first one is the e.l.f. 16-Hour Camo Concealer. And this one I mentioned in a dupes video that I think is a dupe for Tarte Shape Tape. My color is light sand. This is so full coverage. If you do not like full coverage under your eyes or all over your face, probably stay away from this one, but I just put like a small amount and blend it out. I love it. It is so good. One that I purchased more recently, I think I got this in August, but I am loving it. This is the CoverGirl True Blend Concealer. My color is Classic Ivory. This is much less coverage, so this is more natural, but again, it doesn't dry out my under eyes. It's not cakey. So if you prefer less coverage, definitely go with the CoverGirl, but they are both super creamy and I am in love. As far as mascara, you've heard me talk about Covergirl. I love their mascaras, pretty much all the ones I've tried. This is the one I have now, the Clump Crusher. I just love that they don't flake and they don't smudge throughout the day. Now, I know that Essence is a really popular drugstore brand for mascara, and I really like their mascaras. However, a lot of them will flake on me during the day, and I just don't like that. It looks kind of messy, and you know, I don't always have time to touch that up, but this is the Clump Crusher, kind of a plastic, slightly angled wand. I do like it, but I will say other people have had better luck than I have with the Essence mascaras, so they may not flake on everyone, but unfortunately for me, they do. Okay, let's talk about some eyeshadow blush and all of that fun stuff. This is the eyeshadow palette I'm wearing today. Like I said, I have a tutorial on my Instagram. This is the Essence Good Day Sydney. This is only $10 and I got it with an Ulta coupon, so I only paid $8. I really like it. It is such high quality, and I mentioned this recently in a ranking new eyeshadow palettes video. I bought this about 2 months ago and I love it. I mean, I only paid $8 and the mattes blend so easily. The shimmers are metallic. I did not wet my brush today. This is just how this green looks. So I am blown away, and confession, I just placed an Ulta haul using points and I bought the Paris one in this. I'm really excited. I just love this palette so much. Okay, let's talk about one of the few rainbow palettes at the drugstore. There just aren't that many, honestly. There's a lot of affordable brands that are not necessarily drugstore, like online brands like ColourPop, that have amazing colorful eyeshadows, but if you're just walking up and down the makeup aisle at Walgreens, I just feel like there's not a lot. But the NYX Ultimate Brights, I love this. This is $18, so it's a bit more expensive, but I've talked about this palette a lot. It is a bit sheer, so you have to build these up, but for such bright eyeshadows, I think that's perfectly fine. So I really enjoy this palette. Some of these look like they have shimmer, but they're basically matte and satins, but I think it is so good, and I love that there is an easily accessible, colorful palette out there. Next up is Milani. You heard me talk about this in my ranking new eyeshadow palettes video. Also, this is the Bold Obsessions. This palette is around $15 to $20, depends where you buy it. This is a lot of neutral shades, but it has cool tones and warm tones, which I really like that change up. The packaging and the eyeshadow quality, to me, this could be a $50 palette, and I wouldn't question anybody if they were charging that much. It is so good. The shimmers are so creamy, the mattes so blendable. Yeah, I really enjoy this one. I will be doing an Instagram tutorial with this one probably in the next 2 weeks. And another confession, that in that Ulta Points haul, which you'll see in the next week or two, I bought another one of these too. I know, I kind of went crazy with drugstore stuff just because there's so much good drugstore makeup out there. Okay, last up for eyeshadow palettes, this is the e.l.f. 18 Hit Wonders. I purchased this at Target. It was $14. And I talked about this in my first ranking eyeshadow palettes video, that the quality was a bit hit or miss because the matte shades tend to be a bit powdery and a few of the shimmers are a bit chunky, but I've done amazing looks with this. I love the color selection, that it is a combo of neutrals and more colorful shades. You have some really unique ones like this greenish metallic down here. Yeah, I would say out of quality wise, all these 4 palettes, this is probably the most difficult to work with, but I still think it is good and I still like it. I have not decluttered it and I don't plan on decluttering it. So yeah, this is a really nice color story. So if you like it and you don't mind having to work with your eyeshadows a bit, then I do recommend this. So sadly, I looked through my bronzer collection and I only found even one like drugstore-ish bronzer. All the rest I have are high-end. But this is from the Dollar Tree. This is Beauty Benefits Hollywood bronzer in the color Cinnamon. I talked about this in my dollar makeup review. This is such a pretty caramely, olivey, not too warm shade. Works really well for me. This is only $1 and it blends like a dream. That is my issue with drugstore bronzers. A lot of them are choppy and hard to blend. However, there is also the Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer, which I completely finished earlier this year, and I did love that one as well. The one I had was quite light, so I actually like this color better because it gives me more color. But yeah, the Butter Bronzer, I think we all know, is a tried and true favorite for many. Okay, blush. Now, again, I only have 2 drugstore blushes, but I did order more. I know. I'm terrible, but still, Ulta points, come on. Anyway, Burts Bees. This one has been really hyped up on YouTube, particularly by Kathleen Lights, which is why I purchased it. This is Toasted Cinnamon. This is not going to be for everyone. It is a very orangey brown, and I think it probably suits people with yellow undertones better. I think it could look muddy if you have pink undertones. Again, I'm not sure. I have yellow undertones, so I love these orangey type blushes. So as you can tell, I mean, this almost looks like a bronzer, but this is such a creamy, buttery formula. This is a bit more expensive for the drugstore. I think I paid maybe like $13 at Target for this. So this isn't cheap by any means, but really nice. And then Milani. This is Tea Rose, and this is the blush I'm wearing today. This is also really, really nice, easy to blend. Beautiful color. This is more of like, you know, a standard pinky taupe type color. It is somewhat light, so I mean, I have to build this up, but it's really gorgeous and it's a really nice formula and it's not too powdery. I've noticed a lot of drugstore blushes can be a bit powdery and not that pigmented, but these two are amazing. I only have 2 drugstore highlighters, but I love this one so much. This is the Essence highlighter. This is the Pure Nude in number 10 Be My Highlight. I'm wearing this one today also. I love it. This is so finely milled, beautiful champagne color. This one you can wear more subtle, but as you can see in this concentrated swatch, it's quite metallic, and I put about 2 layers on, and this is pretty blinding, I think. So no glitter, no chunks, incredibly smooth. And sometimes I do use a light hand with this and use it as a finishing powder like I do with my Hourglass. And yeah, this is absolutely amazing. The only other drugstore highlighter I have is this one by Wetnwild. This is Blossom Glow. This is a more pink shade, and I do really like this actually. As you can tell, it's quite frosty with some pink undertones in it. This is really good, very blinding. It is a bit powdery like on the brush, so I have to tap off the brush a little bit, but I don't mind. This is only $5 and I really, really enjoy it. All right, we're on to lip products and then we're done. I gotta say, as far as lipstick, my collection is a lot of ColourPop and some high-end lipsticks. So pure drugstore brands, I don't have a lot to talk about, but these Maybelline lipsticks used to be so popular, and I still think they're good. This color, Truffle Tease, was super popular on YouTube like 5 years ago. It's just a nude, but I really, really enjoy it. It's a really nice, smooth formula. It's not the most pigmented, so you do have to build it up a little bit, but I don't really mind that. My other favorite formula is the Wet n Wild Liquid Catsuit High Shine lipstick. They have matte versions of these. They're not my favorite. They are one of the most drying liquid lipsticks, but this one is basically, it's a gloss lipstick hybrid, but they are really pigmented. This shade is Berry Down Low, and I was wearing this in my recent Empties video for September. So if you want to see that on the lips, check that out. This color is so gorgeous. Now I will say, because these are essentially glossy liquid lipsticks, you really need a lip liner. And so I pair this one with Lumiere from ColourPop, which is like a pinky purple. So that's the only thing I will say. These, you really need a lip liner, otherwise it's pretty messy. But they stay in place with a lip liner, and I love this formula. It's so comfortable. I just can't do the whole like matte liquid lipstick thing very often anymore, and I prefer comfort. Last up is a lip gloss, and I love the NYX Butter Glosses. These used to be quite raved about, and I feel like nobody talks about these anymore, but these are still, I think, my ultimate favorite lip glosses. High-end or drugstore. I am wearing this one today. This is Praline. It's kind of like a brown. I love how shiny these are. I just feel like they're the shiniest lip glosses I've ever seen. Another favorite is Strawberry Parfait, which is a pink. It's not as bright as it looks in this tube. and then a brown nude. This is the Intense Butter Gloss. So these are more pigmented. These are more sheer and have a lot of shine. These are more pigmented, and they are actually a very similar formula to the Anastasia lip glosses, and I actually prefer the Intense Butter Gloss over the Anastasia. Alrighty, so that is it for this video. That was a lot of drugstore favorites. These are tried and true products. I love these. Some of these I've been using for years. Some I've bought more in the last few months, but the quality is amazing. These compared to high-end quality. So I love everything here. Let us know your drugstore favorites. That is it for this video, and thank you for watching.